Jungkook cries live on Weverse. The most honest confession since debut. That night, no one expected that Jungkook's Weverse broadcast would be the most emotional and honest moment of his entire career since his debut with BTS. Without a teaser, without an announcement, suddenly the app screen lit up with a notification that made millions of ARMY around the world pause from whatever they were doing. Jungkook is now live. She appeared in a black hoodie, slightly disheveled hair, sitting on a sofa with dim lighting. Unlike the usual laughter, this time Jungkook looked empty. No music in the background, no fancy drinks in hand. It was just him, the screen, and the sound of his heavy breathing, like he was holding on to something he had long wanted to let go of. 0.5 minutes passed without a sound. Just a blank stare into the camera. Then he opened his voice with a simple phrase that instantly broke the hearts of all who watched. "I don't know where to start," and since then, the cry broke out. Not an explosive cry, but a cry that was held for too long. Slow, deep, and painful. Jungkook, who has been known as the Golden Magne, the all-rounder, who always seemed strong, cheerful, and unwavering, the night showed a side that had been hidden from the cameras. He began to speak, though his voice trembled. "I'm tired, not because of work, but because I keep pretending I'm okay." He admits that there are days when he does not want to get out of bed. The days where he felt trapped between being an idol and being a Jungkook. Days in which he feels not heard, despite being surrounded by millions of loves. "Sometimes I feel like I have no place to cry, because everyone wishes me happiness all the time." Comments from the ARMY instantly flooded the screen. Thousands of lines of support. "We love you. You are not alone. Cry if you need to. It's okay." And endless heart emojis keep popping up. But Jungkook kept talking, this time in a quieter tone. "I know you are always there, but I still feel empty some nights, especially when it's all over and I'm alone." He also discussed how the pressure after enlistment, expectations of a comeback, rumors that spread, to the guilt of not being able to perform as much as he wanted. He felt that he failed to meet everyone's expectations, even though he tried his best. And then he paused, looked down, and said, "I miss my friends at BTS. But we are all struggling in our own ways. I know they've had tough nights like this too." At that time, more than 15 million viewers were recorded watching the live. And everyone knows they are watching a historical moment. Not because of its exclusivity, but because of a global idol who is so adored and loved. Finally tell the truth without filters, without scripts, without masks. That night, Jungkook showed that even heroes can get tired. After 37 minutes of broadcast, in which most of the time was filled with silence, tears, and low sentences, Jungkook closes with a message that penetrates the heart of anyone who watches it. "I just want to be me." Jungkook. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you're not perfect. Will you stay with me? Comments immediately exploded. Even Weverse servers were down for a few seconds due to a surge in reactions from around the world. The answer? Clear, yes. Always. The next day, media around the world highlighted the broadcast. Articles appeared with titles such as "Jungkook's Tears Reveal the Price of Stardom Behind the Fame," "The Silent Pain of Jungkook," and "When a Star Finally Spoke from the Heart." Public figures, psychologists, artists, and even politicians spoke out, emphasizing the importance of giving artists a safe space to remain human. UNICEF Korea even released a special statement calling Jungkook a new icon of courage in the era of mental health. After that tearful night, the world seemed to stop for a moment to look back at who Jungkook really was. He is not only an idol with a golden voice and a glorious stage, but a young human being who has been standing in the middle of the rumble of the world alone. Armies around the world began sharing snippets of video from the broadcast, citing Jungkook's injury-riddled sentences and responding with unusually large virtual hugs. Even in some cities, fans made impromptu murals, voicing love and support for her. In Seoul, in front of HYB's office, thousands of purple post-it notes were glued to a glass wall. All of them contained words of encouragement for Jungkook, and somehow, in the midst of the calm after that emotional outburst, the world begins to realize that we are all, unconsciously has demanded too much from a young boy who just wants to sing. One of the German army wrote in a forum. We pushed him up too high, hoping he continued to shine, without asking if he was still able to fight the storm behind the light. A few days after the live broadcast, HYB released an official statement. We are in the process of adjusting Jungkook's activities to match his current state of mental and emotional health. We are also grateful for the ARMY's incredible love and support. What is surprising is that instead of disappearing or taking a long leave as many predicted, Jungkook began to speak more often. Not always in the form of broadcasts, but through short notes on Weverse, the lyrics he uploaded, and sometimes it's just a photo with a one-word caption, breathe. They don't try to look perfect all the time. There were days where he just showed up with random, unfiltered hair and said, I can't sing well today, but I still want to say hello. And behind it all, Jimin was always present. Not infrequently, he appears in the comments of Jungkook's live broadcasts, throwing heart emojis or sentences like, tonight we watch a movie together, right? These simple sentences are for fans very meaningful because it shows that Jungkook is not alone. 1 week after the live, Jungkook wrote a long letter that he posted on Weverse. The letter contains honest reflections that leave whoever reads it touched to the deepest recesses. I don't know how to behave when all eyes are on me. I only know one thing. I want to keep singing, stay there. But this time not because you expected it, but because I chose to stay alive. He continued, BTS has given me a lot. But that night, I realized that I also had to make room for myself. If I ever make you happy, this time I ask for one thing. Let me learn to heal, to be human, and to cry without shame. The last sentence of the letter became a kind of quote that was widely printed on t-shirts, stickers, and even displayed on stations and billboards by the ARMY. I won't promise to always be strong, but I promise I won't give up. And perhaps it was the most honest, most sincere, and most courageous confession of a global idol since K-pop was born. After several weeks of silence and contemplation, on a clear morning in early August, Jungkook made his first public appearance. Not at a grand concert or a big media interview, but through a little acoustic session he uploaded on YouTube. Just him, his guitar, and a song he just wrote. The song had no official title, but ARMY referred to it as Cry With Me, because the lyrics read, Do and hold back the rain, let it fall on me tonight if I cry. Will you cry with me? The song went viral in a matter of hours. And people realized Jungkook isn't just coming back, but he returns with a version of himself that is deeper, more real, and more human than ever before. Now, after the storm subsided, something new appeared inside Jungkook. Not just the passion to get back on stage, but the courage to live as herself, not just as an idol. And perhaps, from the tears shed in front of those millions, Jungkook has freed himself. Now the world knows that honest confession is the greatest power. And Jungkook has taught us all that it's okay to cry, it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to be imperfect. Because behind it all, there is still love, and Jungkook finally finds out love is real and always waiting for him on the other side of the screen. And among all that, perhaps the most touching reaction was from Jimin, who through his personal account wrote only one sentence, I'm here. You're not alone. That alone was enough to let ARMY know that tearful night, while painful, was the first step toward healing. The first step for Jungkook to return not as golden magne, but as the real Jungkook who can cry, can get tired, and still be completely loved.